resonator. Thank you so much for tuning in and choosing Zimnet Radio for that matter. May I also thank a few people. I know that I've given you my WhatsApp number now so that you can, be interactive with us. Tell us what you think. And if we are discussing something and you don't agree with what people on the panel are saying, you can communicate with me on the background, sending me messages on WhatsApp, and I can pass on the message. If you wanna, contribute that way, it's one way of contributing, which is quite easy to do, and you don't have to come live if you don't wish to. I must say I've made a lot of friends out there that are, following the show. People that followed the show for years, and I didn't know that these guys are following me. Or we started following the show 2008, 2005, whatever. I don't know, but no, not as far as 2005 because Zimnet Radio was not born yet. But anyhow. If you want to get in touch, WhatsApp number 0798 4455349. That's 0798 4455349. You can get in touch that way. No phone calls on that number. It's just messages. Then we can read them out. If you want to call us, all you have to do is search for Zimnet Main Radio. That's our Skype ID, Zimnet Main Radio. And then you can become our friends, and we can add you to the panel so you can come and participate as well. Right, zvisinei regai ndikwazise vatinawo pachirongwa nhasi tione kuti tingafambe nacho sei apa. Let me also say pana tete Albi Mataruse, she approached me the other day and said, DJ, I've got a Facebook group, so give me the topic and I'll post it there. She's one of our valid listeners as well here. Thank you so much for that. We want the show to grow bigger, so by you advertising it out there, it reaches a lot of people. That's what our goal is. Thank you so much for that. Sally, let me welcome you to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, DJ Sodza. Before I forget, I need that Facebook group that you were talking about so that I can post the video there. Okay, when I do the video. Okay, because then the more people we get there as well, yes. That's good. Okay, good evening, DJ Sodza. Good evening, Rosie. Good evening, Titch. Good evening, Sekuru. Good evening, Wilbert. My dearest Titch, should I say. And good evening, Zimbabweans, wherever you are. I hope you had a fantastic week. And that you will join us on the show this evening.
Yes, Ali, some very sad news coming out of South Africa on Tuesday.
Shush, don't start. I will end up crying, please.
No, Sally. It's condolences. What can we say? That the legendary Hugh Masekela lost his life there through prostate cancer. What a sad day it was.
Oh, I grew up on his music. I mean, I became sort of kind of aware of things through Hugh Masekela and Miriam Makeba. And if you didn't know it, those two were married at one stage.
Yes.
Okay? So, I mean, now him and Ray Piri and Miriam Makeba, man, what have we got left? Okay, I mean, they must be having one hell of a job now, okay? Hey, that really floored me. I knew he had prostate cancer. But I didn't realize that it was that bad.
Thank you so much, Sally, for that. I must say, I mean, this show is not about all these kind of things, but we are humans, and sometimes we want to talk about it.
Exactly.
I know that here in the UK, what they are doing, if you're in the UK, and you tend, I think it's 45 years and above, it's free. You go to your GP and you can get your prostate checked out all the time. So that if there's anything happening there, it can be, identified a bit earlier.
He's been fighting prostate cancer since 2009. I mean, it's not a new thing, okay? So, I mean, no, here they're pretty good with that as well. It's just men have a great repulsion of... Right, if you've got children, block their ears, okay? of having a finger put up their bottom, because that is how prostate is. You have your prostate check. Okay, you bend over the bed, and the doctor puts a glove on and lubricates his finger, and up the finger goes, up your rectum. So, I mean, men are they're still pretty squeamish when it comes to that, okay? Which is a very stupid thing, because I reckon from the age of 40, men should go at least once a year, okay, and get it checked. Because the sooner you can get it checked, okay, the sooner there's a much better chance of them actually being able to get rid of it. It's a horrific treatment, okay. It's not something that is easy. So the easier, the quicker, the earlier you catch it, the better. So guys, kind of suck it up.
Yes. Okay.
And go and get it done.
Get it sorted. Aywa. Thank you so much, Sally. Thank you so much. Those are very wise words for men. I know that us men, we've got a tendency of not going to the doctors, even if we are not feeling well. We just feel that, I'll be fine and all that, especially for prostate cancer. It can be rectified if it is, found at an earlier enough. Yeah, earlier enough. Right. Thank you so much, Sally, for that. Let me go.
Hang on a minute. There's another little myth about prostate cancer. If you have to have your prostate removed, you do not lose the ability to have an erection, men. Okay. Right.
Okay. So, thank you, sir.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
Get rid of a few myths.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Sally, for that quite wise words. Rosie, welcome to the show.
Oh, hi. How are you? How are you guys doing? How's everyone doing? Hope you had a great week.
Yes, we had. Thank you so much there in America. Mkoma teacher Masora Seiko Kulandanu. Aiwa ataskwera zedi. So I don't. Hugh Masekela was he one of the people that you used to listen to?
Yes, definitely one of the greatest crooners and trumpeters the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
So it's really sad that he passed away, but that's the way we all go, isn't it?
Absolutely. My.
Zimbabwe, and good evening, darling Sally, and all the panelists. Looking forward to a lively discussion.
Thank you so much. Right. Mkoma Wilbert, welcome to the show. Kuriseko Manchester nas.
Manchester is fine. Hello, everybody. Yeah. It should be an interesting discussion today, and welcome everybody. And looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you so much. Sekuru Birmingham.
Yebo.
May I also congratulate you. Your team managed the unbelievable last night. 2 fluke goals, and there you are, Wembley again.
We convinced even the doubting Thomases. Tsemra Matsemra.
Tell them.
Zvakawashiwa sekuru. Aiwa, tinofara kuva nemupachiro kwasekuru mukada kuchingamidza vateereri here.
Muri yeZimbabwe makadiko neDavos dzenyidzi. Isu kuno tichiri kutambura.
Aiwa, sekuru, maybe it would be fittingly if I start with you. What did you make of all these Davos situation that we had, the interviews and all that? And I heard people were complaining that of the delegation that Mnangagwa took there, that it was uncalled for, and apparently that place is one of the most expensive places to take such a big delegation there. Where do we start here, Sekuru? Okay, let's start with the interview. Convinced?
About what? About lies? Yeah, I'm convinced he lied very well.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm convinced he lied very well.
Oh, you lied very well, because I was following the feed, and I can see most people were kind of liking what he was saying and warming up to this president.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, if Mnangagwa is telling lies, and we know that he's telling lies, what do you want us to say? Do you want us to say we disagree and we frown on it? We just laugh at it. We enjoy it.
Now, Sekuru and Suzoti, I don't know, maybe someone has got a radio which is on there. I'm not sure. But please, if you've got any noise where you are, please, can you turn it down? Sekuru, this whole interview, was there anything there that you thought, that smells a bit of fishy there? Because there's quite a lot. I don't want to preempt what I want to ask, but I want to tempt you to tell me something that came through these interviews that he has done that you thought, wow, I didn't know that.
Well, the issue about these interviews and the way he was doing it, he missed a lot of opportunities to build his political career on the strength of being exposed to the global media and the global world. As far as I'm concerned, nothing he said is unique or new. He was only regurgitating what we all know and what we want, which he has been opposing for years. So we wonder what has changed, changed in him, if anything. It's either he is a good liar, or alternatively he pretends he's a good actor. But he cannot fool all of us at the same time. So in his interviews, I got a bit irritated in that he was trying to articulate a position that he does not believe in, and to present himself as the power in Zimbabwe when he is not the power in Zimbabwe. The power is in Zimbabwe is vested in Chiwenga. We all know that. So a mouthpiece cannot say, I will do this, I will do this. He cannot do it unless Chiwenga says do it.
So basically that's what you're saying, Sekuru, that really is just a mouthpiece there. So all what he was saying was coming through this other ear and going through the other ear, right?
As far as I'm concerned, and I stand to be disproved, as far as I'm concerned, that is exactly what happened.
All right. Thank you so much, Sekuru, for that. There in America, what did you make of the president's interview there in Davos?
I think he was well put together. I mean, you could tell that he had rehearsed, he had practiced. The thing that I didn't get was, you didn't feel that he was being authentic. You could see, this was someone who's pretty much putting on an act, and you could see some level of irritation, like and he, he's like, he instead of outright just saying, we made them, we must deal with Gukurahundi, or find a way to apologize, and on a world stage so people know you're genuine.
Yeah.
He pretty much deflected, and then when he was asked about corruption, you could see he was also deflecting. It's almost like he's saying, trust us, we're doing what we need to do, but we don't have to be transparent. And the whole thing, I think he did as well as he could have done under the circumstances, and his track record. He was in a way, if you're not really like a person who's into who follows the political landscape that much, you would have been charmed to a certain extent. But I didn't. I was also looking at the backgrounds, the reactions of the faces. Like there was a particular guy I kept looking at, who was in the background, and you could tell just reaction. He was like, "You're a liar." He wasn't even buying it.
So, Tete, you are saying, Kuti, all what he was saying really, these were pure lies, and you don't rate him, and you think this was show acting, he was not authentic, he had rehearsed it.
I think he's been training. I think I saw a different person I saw a person who's really was really put together, and he was really, he didn't insult anyone, besides deflecting and not really answering questions and pretty much making more promises. He didn't go there and like insult anyone per se, and that was for me, when it comes to a ZANU-PF leader not insulting people, that's progress for ZANU-PF. Because they always tend to go back to insulting. But you could tell that this is a person who's pretty much has had some time to rehearse and practice and try and look as statesman as possible, and try and let people see we are changing. The only thing that I see, one of the biggest issues that I saw, especially, I think there was a document that came across in the group, where you actually read the document and you see they have all these things that they will do this, but there's nothing there in the presentation that says, okay, we said we are changing the indigenous law. This is the law we've passed. It's in parliament, it's being heard. We're doing A, B, C, and D maybe to align the constitution. This is the progress we've made. There's a lot of we will, and this is what we're going to do. Which, based on the track record of ZANU-PF, that's not something if I was an investor investing my money, and I know investors are not stupid, a millionaire is not going to just come in and just put their money without actually seeing proper legislation, proper laws, things that protect them. So they understand that my business here is protected. So he went there with a lot of promises, which has been happening, and not so much of, this is what I've accomplished so far, and this is where we're going. It would have been nice if he had gone there. Actually, you know what? See, on my first day of office, on my inauguration speech, I said we were during our budget, we said we were rolling back the Indigenous Act, and we have taken A, B, C, and D and steps to do that, so that people can actually see that this is going somewhere.
Thank you so much, Tete, for that. What I'm going to do is, I know I've got Koma Teach there to speak, Koma Wilbert to speak, and Sally to speak as well. But what I'm going to do is, incorporate people that are writing to me on the WhatsApp platform as well. I'll read a couple of messages that have come through, then I'll come back to you guys. This one is coming from Leicester. It's saying that my contribution for this topic tonight, number one, Emerson Mnangagwa should have apologized to Zimbabweans nezve gukura hundi. Well, just to say sorry, though he said there is an empty going. What are you saying there? Well, just to say sorry, though he said there is an inquiry going on. Okay. Koma feels that he should have apologized for the gukura hundi, not to dilly-dally. Number two, the package for Robert Mugabe is too much. It needs to be reviewed, looking at the situation with our fellow Zimbabweans back home struggling to make a living. Attention to be focused on issues affecting people back home: hospitals, medication, water, roads, to name a few. Kwanziko, when he talked of elections, are we able to vote Tirimu diaspora? These are key questions. And the other message coming through is saying that if Mnangagwa wants our support, he needs to start bringing integrity to the table. We are not fooled by pictures, empty words, and attendance to expensive forums. If he thought he was going to be received as Mugabe was, he was to bring substance to the table. He has to bring substance to the table. Zimbabweans are very much awake now. So far, he has given us nothing to celebrate about. That's Tete Albimatarus there from Germany. Right. Please keep them coming. We will share with everyone here. WhatsApp group. Mukoma Teach, what's your take on this one?
On the Davos.
Yes.
The point that I think most people missed out is the fact that we highlighted some of us way before he even got there. when they started making their preparations with all those little TV populist type of discussions as being preparation for Davos. I don't know what they were preparing for. Davos is basically an international trade fair, just like our trade fair, only that it's on a global scale. So you go there, you market yourself. If you have a stall, you have a stall with captains of industry showcasing what they can offer and the kind of returns that people can enjoy. Mnangagwa took primarily a very political delegation. Some of us, we made comparisons with the South African delegation, which was comprised mainly of captains of industry and other specialists, technocrats. So at the end of the day, the questions that a potential investor would ask could never be answered by any of the people that he took, other than the fact that you come and you simply state that we now have a new dispensation and we are open for business. You can say that from home. You don't need to go to a trade fair to tell people that you are now open for business, etc., etc. You need to go to a trade fair to trade, to show what you want to trade in and what is available, in what quantities, in what volumes, in what quality, what quantum, the kind of things that an investor would be interested. Now, if you talk about commodity trading on the London Metals Exchange, someone who is a trader would definitely be interested in what you are saying. But if you say, we have opened up the extractive industry except for 2 platinum and diamond minerals, you can put that in the Financial Gazette for crying out loud. So as far as I am concerned, in terms of the actual essence of what the WEF is, I think they lost the plot. They went there with a total misconception, of their usual mega deals type of nonsense. So at the end of the day, what we have is a situation whereby the government has shown that it's marketing what it doesn't know it's marketing, because you can't go in a trade fair where you've got thousands, literally thousands of other people looking for suitors to buy their product, and some of them the same product that you're selling with a better political environment, with a better dispensation of an elected government. They failed to appreciate that simple reality, that they're going there not like Davos is waiting for Zimbabwe. No, Zimbabwe is just one of the also ranks. There were other top-notch, blue-chip type of countries that have stabilized their industry, their banking system, their currency trading, exchange control, and all that is stable. No bond, no nothing. We are competing with them. They seem oblivious to that fact. They seem to think that by getting rid of Mugabe, the world is just going to receive them. We lost those markets. We need to win the markets and understand what is in demand that we can put in the markets and trade, and who are we going to be competing with, at what level, with what products, of what quality, of what volumes. They completely lost the plot, these guys. They've just gone there with their sloganeering, usual populist ZANU-PF rhetoric. That's what they've gone with. And you can see in social media, they're struggling right now to try to justify all sorts of things to a point that they've ended up now only focusing on the issue that they apologize on Google on. The substance of all the other noises about him having a town hall and meeting people and discussing and promising that he's going to sell Zimbabwe and he's got millions already interested. And he said he's got 60 heads of state and major corporations waiting to meet him. We didn't see anything. All we saw was CNN and basically almost all the time British news media interviewing him. We didn't see all these heads of state shake hands and any other corporate, like maybe Nikki Oppenheimer there, and they agreed that, the type of diamond policy of Debswan in Botswana is going now to be implemented as well in Zimbabwe, so that our diamonds are traded at maximum optimum value and we get our returns and our royalties once investors get what they get. So to me, he showed unbelievable cluelessness. And whoever is advising him, I just felt if I, an ordinary citizen, have an appreciation of these things at this level and he doesn't, I find it quite scary.
All right. Thank you so much, Mkomatichi. I like the way you explained to the listeners there. I'm one of them who are naive to these kind of things, So basically, for some people that don't know what this Davos was all about, this Davos thing it is the 48th World Economic Forum, where business people should go there and sell their businesses and all the rest of it. But it looks like Mnangagwa took a political stand of it and take his whole government delegation to go with there, which is quite a very interesting point there for some people that doesn't know. But anyway, I've got a few points that I picked up from that interview that I want to ask you guys, because I picked up few things there that I would like to ask you. Kuti apapa vakanga vada kuedza kutry kuti kudini, what does that mean now for our nation? Rekainende pana Mukoma Wilbert up. Ndinzwa kuti Mukoma Wilbert, what did you make of all this?
I think people must remember when he got there and before he even left Zimbabwe, he made it very clear that he's going to go there to tell that Zimbabwe is now open for business. A mess, etc., etc. What is it that has changed? And she asked him specifically that question.
Yeah.
And the point of that question was for him to admit, Kuti, yes, we made some mistakes, some very serious mistakes. And when he was asked that point, instead of admitting that ZANU-PF has made some serious mistakes, has been a party of lawless thugs and so forth, etc., etc., he took off at a tangent and he started defending the land reform. Zimbabwe's economy was not in a mess just because of the land issue. The land issue started in 2000. And by that time, the Zimbabwe economy was already in a mess. And that is a fundamental mess. And if you look at why it was in a mess, you find it was because of mismanagement and corruption and this issue of ZANU-PF refusing to take responsibility for what they did. And the other thing is what the world was looking at, even for those would-be investors would be looking at is, okay, going forward, has Zimbabwe changed? And the answer is clearly no. These are the same thugs that ruled Zimbabwe for 37 years. And they think that by ditching Mugabe and a few other people around him, they've transformed ZANU-PF from a party of thugs to a democratic party. There's no chance of that. You can see that. You ask him, okay, are there going to be free and fair elections? He says, oh, there's going to be free and fair elections. And if we lose, we'll accept it. Mugabe himself said that 1,000 times. But how many times have they been rigging elections? And the whole point is, if you're serious about free and fair elections, you should implement the reforms to make sure that you don't rig elections. Here is a guy who 2 months ago staged a coup. That is illegal. That is, you can redefine it the way you want. But the point of the matter is, it is illegal. And therefore, then your administration is actually an illegitimate administration. And for you to be accepted in the international community, it should be seen to be really taking the initiative, saying, right, we really want to clean up our act and becoming a law-abiding nation. And one of the ways of doing it is making sure elections are free and fair. And here he's not doing it, and the violence is continuing. And look at the guys he surrounded himself, the same thugs who staged the coup. This is what was a lost opportunity. Zimbabwe desperately needs economic recovery. And Mnangagwa was there to try to sell to the world that Zimbabwe has changed and people can come and invest in it. But the minute he was interviewed there, you could see the thug in him coming back and defending the same old indefensible things that ZANU-PF has been doing. So to me, and I think to a lot of would-be investors, that was a lost opportunity. And I know that there are some Zimbabweans who think, oh, no, we are doing fine. The truth of the matter is, it's not going to be a flood of would-be investors in Zimbabwe tomorrow, next week, or next month. No chance.
Aiwa, thank you so much, Mkoma Wilbert, for that. Let me read. Like I say, if you are out there and you want to participate and you cannot call us here, please write me a message on WhatsApp number 0798 4455349. That's 0798 4455349. Write your message there. No calls on that number. Just write your message there and I can share with others here. It's very interesting. A lot of people are showing interest in sharing here. Let me read this one from my brother Cliff in Wolverhampton. Kwanza iko hai, Mr. Sodza from Wolverhampton here. And Mnangagwa's interview in Davos is a complete joke. Firstly, what he said can also be said by any Tom and Dick about opening a business. His pitch was to His pitch was to leave history behind and invite the investors. So, is it the reason why he is not serious to arrest his fellow friends who brought Zimbabwe to where it is today? So, if we should leave history behind, vanhu vese vakasungwa ngavaburitswe mumajere. Vanhu veZimbabwe, please, musakanganwe Chazuro nehope. 37 years, these people vasina tsitsi. Why now? Hameno. And Mkomanyati, I think you are in Australia, saying that on Gukura Hundi, he should not have apologized in Davos, Switzerland. If an apology is to be made, it should be made in Zimbabwe to Zimbabweans who are the victims. Sally, what did you think? Or I know you listened to it. First thing you said, you said you were just looking at the guy behind him. I don't know whether you loved him or what, but anyhow, what did you make of it after you listened to it?
That was that little clip that Titch put there. Okay.
Okay.
And I was watching. You know, I always look at what's going on in the background. You can tell what the people kind of think about it. And I was watching this guy's facial expressions. But anyway, I mean, to sit and listen to his whole interview, I went and cleaned the toilet first, okay? It was painful. It was so painful. And I only did it because I knew you were going to have it on the show. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered. You know, first of all, I'm watching a man that is a professional murderer sit on a world stage, one of the most important stages when it comes to the economic stuff of the world, okay? I'm watching this man sit there. He was very uncomfortable, and his mouth was getting dry, and he was really uncomfortable. Anyway, I'm listening to him go from this murderer to now this lovely, sweet little man, okay, that everything is wonderful and Zimbabwe's going to be wonderful and the past must be forgotten and we must move on and Zimbabwe is open to the world and then I'm thinking, oh, Faga Brick, hang on a minute. We have got my bond notes. So now we are going to the world stage and we're going to ask people to invest and we got my bond notes. And I thought to myself, okay, cool. So we get whoever, okay, there with the multi-millions and he's coming to invest and my bond notes. And I couldn't get past that. I thought, how on earth do you go on the world stage so unprepared? You haven't even got a currency in your country. You got bond notes. I mean, okay, cool. Then you listen to what he has to say. Nothing new. That's the ZANU-PF mantra. We've been listening to that. Okay, this time it was better. Mnangagwa doesn't go off on a tangent, okay, about everybody that he hates and everybody that is bad and all that. No, he does kind of stick to the subject, okay? So that was kind of nice, but the rest of it, I'm sorry. It was just, seriously, it was pie in the sky, smoke and mirrors, whatever you want to call it. It was a load of yes. And the people that attacked me because I said that. I mean, I don't understand where people are getting all this, oh man, the man is great and he's doing this and he's doing it. He's done nothing. He sat there on the world stage with his currency being bond notes and talked a load of hogwash. So, cool. If that is what impresses you, hey, please, don't let the door hit your butt on the way out, because really, there is nothing there that impressed me. Apart from the fact that he didn't go off on the I hate everybody tangent, everybody hates us tangent, okay? That was that was refreshing. But the rest, I'm sorry. That ZANU-PF mantra, that we've been listening to for 37 years. And this is a man that was against everything, okay? And people would disappear, all right, because of voicing their opinion or disagreeing with something from his party. His party. He was there right at the beginning of Zimbabwe, okay? And now I must sit and listen to that. Sorry, I can't.
You can't. Thank you so much, Sally. You were not happy with that interview at all. Now, let me read some of the messages coming. It's very interesting, actually. There's quite a lot of people there who will be listening to this show, and they didn't have opportunity to write to us and tell us what they are thinking as well. So it's quite interesting. So keep them coming, guys. It's very interesting for you to be interactive with us. I will endeavor to read all of your messages that you are sending. Mukoma Brian in Crew here in the United Kingdom is writing to me saying that elections are a process and not an event. He said the elections are going to be free and fair, but not even one electoral reform has been implemented. So far, the process will favor ZANU-PF. So I don't believe in his lies. Nothing has changed. So nothing will change. I will always, and I mean always, support Mukoma Wilbert's stance on reforms. As long as Pasinama reforms, we are just wasting our time. Thank you, Mukoma Brian. Baba Victor ku Newcastle. DJ Sodza ko iyo scarf ye flag pana president wenyu udzai vanhu veZimbabwe. If you see a lion smiling at you, zivai kuti iri kufarira nyama. ZANU will never change. Now, that's who is that? That's Baba Victor there in Newcastle. And then Tete Albimataris is writing to me as well. Kwanza saying Zimbabwe is now open for business is not enough. Show foreign investors your trustworthiness, starting with the democratic laws. If the people on the ground can't trust you, how do you expect a stranger to trust you enough to protect their interests? Those are some of the messages coming from people out there. What I want to do, guys.
Ndini Father Douglas Ziba. Ngati vumerane, ngati werane, kuti venda, ngati bati wose munu. Iwe kanzuru, venda munu man. Hati, tisige yu pano, kanzuru ye Harare, tisu mavenda tisu. Hapana chamakona, sika ne mavenda ari kushandira muri. Moto unza demo, rashereka reka. Gondo ne mavenda ari kushandira muri. Moto unza demo. Raiteiko, 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 raiteiko.
Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
It is a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's a men's corner show with yours truly, DJ Sodza.
Join DJ Sodza.
DJ Sodza.
And his informative team. Live every Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time.
Discussing Zimbabwean politics.
This is very interesting. It's very, very interesting. I don't think this is from the president. This person angonyora zvakachingohumana achida kunyepera vanhu. How can you say kuti kwanzanzi if a person tells you kuti US bond nenhingirikiri zvine ma different rates womurekodha unomurekodhera chii?
Silent killer, silent killer, chakanyanya nditachanetsa pageti amalula kungero peta
Yes, and 9 minutes before the hour of 11 here in the United Kingdom. Thank you so much those who are still sending messages kunoku. Right, again ku Liverpool right now. Kuna Papalodza. Good evening to you, sir. Good evening, DJ Sodza in the panel. My point of view on the Mnangagwa Davos interview is that he doesn't seem to get it when he was asked about Commonwealth reinstatement, where he doesn't get it that Zimbabwe we were suspended from the Commonwealth due to the fact of human abuses and hazardous land reforms program, and the scarf is a complete joke, to be frankly honest with you. That is the Papalodza there in Liverpool. Then Mkoma Nyati in Texas, Texas, America. Once the interviews are for the media and the public. What counts is what happens in interactions with business people and other governments. Government is there to pronounce policy direction. Our business guys should have funded themselves to attend the trade fair to get deals. You see, government should not be blamed for going there. Business people should have gone there themselves. But that aside, guys, Mnangagwa was asked when do we expect the elections to be held, and I was intrigued and I caught. He said that it is going to be held between the 12th of February and definitely before July. You know? And I was thinking, so we could have elections in March, couldn't we? After he said that. Sekuru, what did you make of that? Are these guys wanting to fast forward the election so that maybe they know that maybe the opposition is in disarray at the moment and they want to take advantage of that? That's coming to my mind here. I don't know. I want you to focus on that answer. Yakapu Wakunzi, from the 12th of February, and technically we can have this election 12th of February and beyond, and definitely before July. So we are going to have this election before the month of July here. Right? That's what he said. That's what the Constitution said. Sekuru, what did you make of that?
I thought spoke like a person who has been in law school, even though he claims to be a lawyer by qualification. Because the Constitution is very clear. It says the election cannot be held 30 days, any earlier than 30 days before the expiry of the parliament. Now, the life of parliament starts from the date the president is sworn in, and we know that the president was sworn in on the 23rd of August. So, parliament cannot be dissolved any earlier than the 20th. Okay, the term of parliament cannot end any earlier than the 20th of August.
23rd of July. 23rd of July is 30 days before.
Yeah, so the earliest an election can be held is at least the 23rd of July. So when he says anytime, when he says anytime.
Sekuru, Mirai. Remember, you're talking to a novice when it comes to politics here. Are you telling me Kuti Mnangagwa was not informed when he told people that it's 6 months before? So who is telling the truth here? You or Mnangagwa? He said 6 months before the president was sworn in, and you are saying 30 days.
I'm not saying Mnangagwa lied. I'm saying the Constitution says that.
Oh, okay.
So you can't say me and the Mnangagwa. Say the Constitution or Mnangagwa who is telling the truth. Obviously, the truth is in the Constitution, isn't it?
Well, the truth is in the Constitution. Then Kanamurgunjara 30 days. So why would he say that? This is my question.
Because he was so desperate to impress people who do not even know what is in the Constitution. Let him try to hold the election on the 3rd of February and see what happens. He will not be able to hold it because there will be court application after court application from interested parties.
Oh, hey, Babangu Chirandiwe. So that was, he was just trying to, I don't know, to batter people, because it's very interesting. Sekurukuti, he said it from the 12th of February. He said after the 12th of February, we can call for an election straight away.
But he cannot. The 12th of February, when will he have compiled the voter registration? When will he have published it for inspection? When will he have revised it and corrected it of any errors? It's just not on. He was just talking to people who do not know the electoral process in Zimbabwe and bluffing his way around. That's why I said this man was just either lying or putting on a very good act.
Wow. Saka, Imini Sekuru, I want to dig deeper here. That what was the thinking there, if there was any thinking? Because from what you are saying, it looks like he was talking nonsense, to be frankly honest there. But what I'm saying is, what would have been maybe the thinking in trying to, I don't know, maybe scare people that these elections could be held much earlier than July?
That was not intended for Zimbabwean audience. That was intended for the international community, which is insisting that one of the benchmarks for engagement is an election that legitimizes this coup government, if it is going to be legitimized, or that kicks out this coup government if it is going to be couped out. So he was talking, he was not campaigning to Zimbabweans or frightening Zimbabweans. He was campaigning to the people who are doubting that he is going to hold an election within the given time in the constitution, and telling them that I can even do it by February, which is a lot of crap.
He's trying to impress. That's the word.
And by the way, sorry, can I just finish? This is short. By the way, you cannot talk about disarray in the opposition ranks, because there's more disarray in his party than in anything else. His party, the only unity that is intact is the soldiers. The war veterans have now split from the soldiers. The G40 is split from the Lacoste. It's just a lot. NPP is split from ZANU. Tabengba is a split from ZANU. Makoni is a split from ZANU. All those people could be voting ZANU if they were united. So you can't say disarray in the opposition. It's nowhere near what is in the ZANU-PF or ZANU-CF or Junta thing.
Okay. Aiwa, Sekuru, thank you for that. And Skuzia, Mukoma Wilbeti, Pindaitins.
I just wanted to help you there with clarifying. I've got the Constitution here. Section 158, timing of elections. General elections must be held so that the polling takes place not more than 30 days before the expiry of the 5-year period specified in Section 143. So in this particular case, all you are saying is before the 5-year term of this present government, parliament expires, the elections must be held. And that if the president was sworn in August last time, it means it has got to take place by July at the latest. So that is 30 days before the expiry of the 5-year. And what he was also trying to say by 12th of February is that that's when the ZEC is supposed to complete their voter registration. So they will come back and say to him, okay, we've completed the voter registration. I agree with what Sekuru is saying there. If they say, well, we haven't compiled the voters roll or whatever, and we need this time and so many months to do it and so forth, then he can say, okay, he can wait for them to finish that and then make his declaration of when the elections will be held. But I think 30 days is meant before the expiry of the 5-year term.
Teteros, yes, I'll come to you in a minute. But you know, Mukoma Wilbet, I'm confused that if the Constitution is saying 30 days before the 23rd of August when Mugabe was sworn in, why did he come out and say these elections are going to be held between the 12th of February and before July? Why would he say that?
No, I think what he meant was 12th of February will be the day when the ZEC is supposed to complete their voter registration exercise that is going on now. So at that point, if ZEC was to say to him, we've got the voters roll ready, elections can be held as long as they don't exceed the 5-year term. They could be held at the end of 4 years or 3 years or whatever. It's not like some American one.
Right. Okay. All right. Yes, I'm coming to you. Saka murikutaura imimi kuti the constitution actually said kuti as long as it is held before the 23rd of August. Saka Mnangagwa was right what he said, that it can be held 4 years. It can be held before the 50th year. Pano expire. It can be held before then, any day before. Are we together there?
Yes. You can hold it any time.
Sekuru.
No, you can't.
So who has got the correct one here between the two of you?
The only time he can do that is if he dissolves parliament. Now,
yes, thank you. That's what I was going to say.
To dissolve parliament is another process altogether, which might find him being on the receiving end of a vote of no confidence. So don't just read that paragraph and say it means exactly what you are saying. It doesn't. It means the president must do something in terms of section 143. The period referred to in 143 is the dissolution process, or the expire of the parliament term.
Yeah, so but Sekuru, you're saying exactly the same thing. He can dissolve parliament any time. That is the point we are making here.
No, if he dissolves parliament,
there is no specific date that you can dissolve parliament after 7 years or 3 years or whatever. The president has got the right to dissolve parliament. So in this particular case, he can dissolve it. And if it wasn't for instance, the problem of the voters' roll, he could decide that the elections would be held end of March. Period. There's nothing doing that.
Can I say something?
Okay. Right.
Okay. So Sekuru is right when he's saying, he cannot hold elections before the 23rd of July. That's what the Constitution says. The Constitution also says the president can dissolve Parliament at any time for whatever reason, and actually at that point conduct elections. But that's another whole complicated process. So if Mnangagwa can hold elections in February, he's saying another thing that he's saying is, okay, once ZEC is done and I dissolve Parliament, if Wilbur is saying he can conduct an election anytime, he's saying, okay, I'm going to hold elections. I don't really care about aligning any laws. I don't really care about making sure the election is free and fair. As long as I say it's free and fair, that's how it is. So there's a whole slew of problems associated with having an early election. He's going to find that's going to cause him more problems than it's actually going to solve his problems. Because it's now going to be very clear to anyone who's paying attention, he's not ready to actually have a free and fair election. Right now, tinema issue my voter slips, voter slips. And that's been making news in Zimbabwe. Almost everybody knows ZANU-PF has been collecting voter slips. You have an issue of violence. Yakatutanga kare soldiers being dispersed. You have now the citizens talking about electoral reform. So if Mnangagwa were to dissolve Parliament today, he could even get backlash from his own MPs. So there is a lot that is involved. It's not that simple that he can just hold an election just because he's a president. As far as I'm concerned, he's not even really a president because he wasn't elected, so he shouldn't be dissolving anything. Mm-hmm. But that's another story.
But he cannot even dissolve Parliament just out of gut feeling. He can only dissolve Parliament if Parliament refuses to accede to his to a bill. If they refuse to, he refuses to assent to a bill and the Parliament refuses to amend it, then he can dissolve Parliament. He cannot just randomly dissolve Parliament for whatever reason. There are reasons that are specified in the Constitution.
All right.
actually think, can I just finish off? And I won't speak again. I actually think, Kuti, he said all these things because there's this whole issue, Kuti, they might want to postpone elections, all this stuff. I think he was trying to build confidence, the investors, the world. But, we're not afraid of elections. You know, we're not afraid to give up power if we lose. You know, that was his way of trying to sell himself in ZANU-PF. But no, we're on the right track. We're not afraid. We could even hold elections tomorrow. We're not afraid.
All right. A little bit of a twist. Yanshada kubvunza pambira, but ndomunzwa kuna Mkoma Tichi as well there. Mkoma Tichi, I mean, telling someone who is not into politics about this. Number one, here we've got two issues. Mkoma Wilbert thinks that Mnangagwa can have this election after the 12th of February. That is in the constitution. But now, Sekuru Wangwa is 30 days before the 23rd of August. That means after the 23rd of July, he's within his rights to call for an election there. But Warugutiwa before then really has to dissolve parliament to do that. Mkoma Tichi, what's your understanding on it yourself?
Yeah, at the moment we are all arguing semantics. ZANU-PF has got the numbers in parliament. It doesn't matter what is authorized or not authorized. The elections are due this year. Within a specified period, ZANU-PF can manipulate it to either get parliament to dissolve itself, which it can do, or the president can dissolve parliament, which he can do, or parliament will expire by operation of law on the date of its due expiry. So these are semantics. The question is, why does he want an early election?
Yes, this was my primary question, Mkoma Tichi, why does he want an early election?
BVR are not ready. Alignment of laws to constitution, which is a major reform that we require, are not ready. And as such, minimum standards on the conduct of elections are not met. And he himself is a successor president and elected, which means for us to go to an election, we need the alignment of the laws to the constitution, the constitution of the independent commissions is provided for in the constitution, and we also need that the people that will be manning those independent commissions are independent enough for other participants in the election to approve of them in the same manner that we approved of our national constitution by broad national consensus. That's what the international community is going to have to face. I will tell you for a fact that we in our party are already engaging internationally through SADC, first the Secretariat, and all these other people that are now making noises of wanting to get involved, to say that we appreciate that you want to do your businesses, etc., etc., but we expect that you also uphold the same standards that you hold your government to in your own countries before you come to ours, so that we are happy to receive you as a nation, not just the political figures that you are dealing with. Otherwise, that becomes inhumane. So we are taking these issues up already in a legalistic manner. Other than that, we are lobbying other opposition parties to have a class action on the issue of the taking of BVR slips and abuse of traditional leaders, to register and take details and note the people's details from the BVR slips and give them the insinuation and innuendo that ZANU-PF will be able to know who they voted for. These are all things that grossly violate the Electoral Act and the Constitution, both in terms of legalistic and the spirit of fair play. So at the moment, the issue is no longer the semantics of how parliament is dissolved. It goes without saying it will be dissolved, whichever way it will be dissolved. The question is, why is he rushing to do that? Why not let parliament, first of all, through its natural, normal business, enact the relevant alignment of the laws that need to be aligned to the Constitution, repeal the sections of POSA and IPA as envisaged in the harmonization of those acts to the Constitution, or come up with a new Public Order Act altogether and repeal those. These are things that are there, and I can assure you right now that I'm very happy to say that the MDs I have spoken to have really impressed me in the sense that they are very clear as to what the legislative agenda should be prior to dissolution of Parliament.
Can I ask Tisha a question?
I want to dispute that. Because in terms of Section 143 of the Constitution, which talks about dissolution, the duration and dissolution of Parliament, it says, 1, Parliament is elected for a 5-year term which runs from the date on which the President-elect is sworn in and assumes office in terms of Section 94(1)(a), and Parliament stands dissolved at midnight on the day before the first polling day in a general election called for in terms of Section 144. Number 2, it says the President must, by proclamation, dissolve Parliament at the Senate, if the Senate and the National Assembly sitting separately by the votes of at least 2/3 of the total membership of each house, have passed a resolution to dissolve. Number 3, the President may, by proclamation, dissolve Parliament if National Assembly is unreasonably refused to pass an appropriation bill referred to in subsection 305. Number 4, a decision to dissolve Parliament in terms of subsection 3 may, on the application of a member of Parliament, be set aside on review by the Constitutional Court. Number 5, an application for a review of a decision to dissolve Parliament must be filed within the Constitutional Court within 7 days after the decision was published, and the Constitutional Court must determine the application within 14 days after it was filed. Pending the Constitutional Court's determination of the application, the decision to dissolve Parliament is suspended. Now, this is tacit and unambiguous. You cannot just dissolve Parliament. There are conditions.
Sir Guru, we're not disputing that. That's exactly what I said. But I said whichever way it goes, either Parliament will expire at the relevant time as you've read, or it will be dissolved by proclamation, or it will dissolve itself. It doesn't matter. All we were saying at the moment is what needs to be done before Parliament is dissolved. Why are they rushing to dissolve Parliament? The how and the where of is no longer the critical thing here. The critical thing is why are they in a rush? I
agree with you.
Let me make my point and then you can come in. Mnangagwa is finishing off the term of Robert Mugabe. So the anniversary of the inauguration of Robert Mugabe or the swearing in of Robert Mugabe is that anniversary that will dissolve Parliament by operation of law. So at the end of the day, that will happen. Whether you'll do it speedily or not speedily, I understand your argument that he can't do it within 5 months or all the other permutations that are being thrown about. It doesn't matter. What we are saying at the moment is, even if they want to have an early election, there will be legal technicalities to deal with. Notwithstanding the most important being the alignment of the laws before the expiry of this Parliament. Because this is the Parliament that is a product of the new Constitution. And it is actually this Parliament that is the obligation and honors to harmonize the laws and create the necessary independent commission. This Parliament is not for the next Parliament. This Parliament is duty-bound by this new Constitution that we put into place. That is the operational supreme law of the country, to align the laws to the Constitution and make sure that this Constitution is fully consummated. This is where the elections will be delayed. And if Mnangagwa wants to play hardball, all opposition parties, including your party, are going to be opposing him. Right from the way of the technicalities of dissolving Parliament to why it needs to be dissolved before it has finished its business, is mandated by the people through the overwhelming vote for the new Constitution.
That's exactly what you just said is what exactly I was going to say. If you dissolve Parliament tomorrow, it means who's going to align the laws? Because the laws have to go through Parliament. So to me, it's going to create more problems for him, because automatically the election is not free and fair. So it still creates a problem of legitimacy for him, no matter how he wants to look at it. Unless people are just going to take it laying down and not say anything or fight.
Aha. All right. Thank you so much.
There was something that Wilbert said after that.
Okay.
I've forgotten what exactly he said. Wilbert, can you repeat what you were saying when he said the president can dissolve the parliament any earlier than?
Mkoma Wilbert.
No, what I try to say to you is that in this particular case, the president, the elections itself, in any system, take for instance, if we did have these other problems of alignment of the law and the drafting of the new voters' roll and so forth, he can dissolve parliament. It's not a must. There must be elections must be held 30 days before the expiry of the 5 year. That is the point I was trying to make. And by the way, this issue of alignment of the laws, already Parliament, even when Mnangagwa himself was the Minister of Justice, he has already done a lot of the alignments. And I think it's something like 159 out of 200 and something laws that required to be aligned. So this is one thing that may be...
it's actually 74 laws.
And look 74. Because that already has taken place. And
no,
even
Wilbert, 74 laws. 74 laws has not been aligned.
Can I just finish? Even the new Minister of Justice has already said on Voice of America that the alignment has been done. So this is something that the opposition, if they are serious about that issue, they need to take up with government, because government maintains that they've done it.
No, can I say something? No, the government has not completed alignment of the laws. They've not fully aligned the laws. There's still at least 74. And there's at least another 10 laws, new laws. So they have not completed. They say they have aligned. What ZANU-PF has been doing is piecemealing everything to appease. But no affect. One of the big things that still needs to be aligned is the electoral law. There's still a lot of issues regarding the electoral law itself. So you can't say kuti alignment has occurred. It has not. Alignment of the laws has not fully occurred. We still have 74 of those and at least 10 more new ones. So that's at least, I'm counting at least 84, which I can produce and send to you. I think I send them on the group. So there is still a lot of laws that have not been aligned. ZANU-PF keeps saying we have aligned the laws. But right now, when we look at the laws, we know that they have not done that. And now the job of opposition is to now put their feet to the fire and hold them accountable for all the things that they have not done. Instead of saying we're already, we don't need reforms, we're already done. And remember, the world stage is listening to them saying we have aligned laws. When we're sending these documents to international communities and saying, no, they have not aligned the laws. So people also are paying attention. You can't just say we've done something when you haven't. It's the same thing, we're going to hold free and fair elections. There's no how or when or how you're actually going to, what is the roadmap? We're going to hold free and fair elections. Saying it doesn't make it happen. Doing what needs to be done to actually hold a free and fair election is actually what's going to make it happen.
All right. Thank you so much. I don't know if anyone has got anything to say there before we move on, guys.
There was a general laws amendment bill which was never passed, which sought to align these laws. I don't know, ZANU-PF for some reason balked at completing it because it put the obligation on them to put all the necessary commissions, etc. together. But it doesn't matter. This is what the opposition is insisting on anyway. So before Parliament is dissolved, we need all these things clearly done. Whether they've harmonized 10 or 20, they should harmonize them all. And they should actually also repeal and amend the IPA and POSA, because right now they are discordant to the new constitution, especially the Bill of Rights. So it is very important for us as people to understand what it is that the opposition is talking about. Because as you said, most people are novices on these issues. They just will listen to slogans and not go with it. But that is the point. IPA and POSA are discordant to the new law or to the supreme law of the Constitution and specifically the Bill of Rights. So when you look at that, you are saying that once it's done, will allow opposition parties to hold their rallies without having to seek police approval. Because that is the problem that we have right now. Opposition activities are curtailed by law. And this is what a major reform in leveling the political electoral campaign field is like. Now we also have the issue of Justice Rita Makaro having resigned. No official statement has ever come to explain why she resigned, what happened suddenly out of the blue. And even now the question of who is replacing her is still ambiguous. But we're already talking about elections. So there are just too many variables that the opposition parties are not happy with, which need to be dealt with, and which legally speaking can be taken to the Constitutional Court and be taken to the SADC Secretariat and the Summit. That would definitely make this more of an international issue. And we are not afraid to make it an international issue.
And add to that, the 12th of January, Wilbert, you were saying the 12th of February, he was using it as the date that you will have finished the registration of voters. But registration of voters is allowed until 12 days from the date that the proclamation of the next election is made. So what you are saying is not exactly constitutional.
No, I think we are arguing on semantics here. What the point of 12th of February? The whole point is that is when the main voters' roll, the compilation of the main voters' roll should be complete. The process can continue. Nobody's saying it shouldn't continue after that cut-off date. Cut-off date only allows you to say, okay, at this point here, when can we have the final voters' roll finalized? And then if Zek was to say to him, we need 2 months to do it, he can say, okay, when that is done, we should be able to hold elections, and therefore then he can make his proclamation and do whatever other than notifications he's got to do in Parliament. I agree. But the point is, he can at that point say the elections can be held end of May or end of June. They don't have to be exactly 30 days before the expiry of the 5-year period. That's the point that we are making here. So I don't see what the problem is there, Seguru.
The problem is him saying I can hold the election on the 12th of February.
No, he didn't say he can hold them on the 12th of February. All he's saying there is that there is a current exercise that's going on now, and it will finish 12th of February. At that point, he will call Zek in to say to them, okay, when can you have the voters roll ready?
Are you putting words into his mouth?
Thank you.
No, that is the point. That is the only Nankiri importance of 12th of February.
No, but so that's not what he said.
But that's not what he said.
I don't think
that's not what he said.
Yeah?
Are you saying you're privy to his inner thoughts? Is that what Wilbur is saying, that he know? Do you know him personally? That you know that when he was...
No, that's what you are saying in the interview. I mean, if you listen to
I watched the interview. And keep in mind, Wilbur, this is not the first time that he has said he will hold an early election. He actually said this again a couple of weeks ago. So are you saying what he's saying is not actually what he's saying, and you know what he's saying?
Rose, I'm just telling you.
Let's deal literally with his literal words.
Let me answer you. Let me answer you.
But I'm asking you, are you dealing with his words literally, or are you thinking?
Let me answer what you have asked. Okay, let me answer you. If you're not going to let me answer you, there's no point in discussing. What Nankiri Sodza was talking about there is the interview in Davos. There was a point when he was asked, when are you going to hold the elections? And he said there is a process of compiling a new voters' roll that is going on. That should complete 12th of February.
Yes.
And from that point, then I can make a proclamation at the time when it will be suitable for us to do all the elections. But at the latest, July. That is what he said. That is what all I'm repeating.
So he said he would make a proclamation. Those were his exact words. No, because I just want to know literally what he said.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. Sally, are you okay there, my darling?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just had to go and sort out something. The cops came around.
Oh, Jesus. Is everything okay? Is everything okay
yeah,
there?
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm alive.
Yes,
She has been throwing punches at the gate.
No, they wanted to know if I had seen anything, because it was a crime committed, and they wanted to know if I'd seen anything, and I said no.
Okay. All right, Sally. Thank you so much. Sally, we want to move on here. You probably have missed a bit, but I just want to hear your thought on. I'm just trying to pick little things that was intriguing. Yes, was intriguing about this Mnangagwa interview about the election. He said that literally from the 12th of February, he will be in a position to call for elections, and he said he's going to call for this election between the 12th of February and before July. That's what he said. That's what I heard.
If you listen to the way he's talking about that, he says the 12th of February is when the BVR is supposed to be finished. So anytime after the 12th of February, he will then be able to call for an election, which has to happen by July. That is what he really said. If you listen to it, Laka, okay?
Right. Okay.
Look, I don't see how he's going to have to wait, because as Sekuru and Titch said, things have to be put into place and everything else, okay, before he can then now say, right, we're ready for an election. All right? The constitution has to be aligned, okay, and we know cabinet has to do that. So yes, cabinet has to align the constitution. All right? I mean, seriously, it doesn't impress me. It doesn't worry me. Okay, it just, well, it's going to happen, and that's it. I mean, my biggest fear is, why are the army being used to electioneer for ZANU-PF and Drugeje? Can't somebody put that man in a cage and stick his mouth with super glue? That man is bad news. And he's planted himself there in Masvingo. Yes, I know he comes from near there and everything else, okay? And that's his province. The man is bad news, please. And if he's shutting his mouth and he's the boss to do with elections for ZANU-PF, we're in trouble.
Okay. Right, Sally.
So, I mean, look, it doesn't faze me. It's going to happen when it's going to happen, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about the stuff that's going on in the background. That's what's bugging me.
Mm-hmm. Now,
very worried about that.
Now, that's fine, Sally. Now, there's this. I know some people have had enough of it, and they don't want to talk about it. I know. But it's just asking here.
Uh-huh.
Do you think he could have said sorry when the Gukura question was popped up?
Come on. What is saying sorry on the world economic stage going to do? This has to be an apology that is done, as far as I'm concerned, in Matabele land, okay, at an appropriate time to the people in Matabeleland. And it's got to come with, how can you say, it's got to come with physical things, okay, things on the ground, okay, the redevelopment of the area, the acknowledgement of the people that died, in other words, a monument, that kind of stuff, okay. It's got to come along with something real on the ground and physical and tangible, not just okay, and finished. I mean, he keeps on batting it aside, okay, and now this truth and healing, or what's the truth and healing thing that he has set up? That's kind of cool, okay, that's something. But he can't keep on brushing it aside, okay, and getting all sort of tongue-tied and dry-mouthed and everything. He can't keep doing that.
Okay. All right, son.
He has at some stage face it. So, no, it's right, the world stage, the world, what's his name, is not the place to make an apology.
All right, thank you. Mkomatich. Yes, Mkomatich. Could he have said sorry on that?
It's a personal choice because it's a question of how his conscience is guiding him. If I were him, regardless of my culpability in the whole saga, I would have apologized as head of state, in the sense that I would have simply apologized to the people that were affected, the communities that were affected, and assure them that the new dispensation is going to look into their grievances and troubles that they're still ongoing, because you still have situations whereby at election time Zambia starts promising orphans of Bukura Hundi birth certificate. Now you can imagine these are people in their 37 to 40 years, you know, that were born and never got their documentation done properly, or some are just using their uncle's names because their fathers died or disappeared and couldn't get birth certificates. There are many people like that. You've also got grandchildren who fall into the same categories. But other than that, there is actually now hereditary pain of people that eventually, because their breadwinners died during that process, or some were maimed and could no longer work for their families. So you've got that underdevelopment of a whole community that is there. And I always put it in this perspective. When we got independence, the whole of Zimbabwe was abuzz with euphoria. Others will remember we do international music artists coming, Manyenge, Bruce Springsteen, you name it, we had them all coming. One was a buzz. Our own musical groups were performing like Enailang and Abdul Boys. Everything was brimming and nice. But the reality is the people of Matabeleland, whilst we were all celebrating and enjoying ourselves, were facing a situation that was worse than during the war. So independence for Matabeleland was postponed. And this is what people in the provinces of Mashingo, Manicaland, Mashonaland, etc. don't get, is that the people in Matabeleland, when we were joyous celebrating, had independence actually postponed. They have no clue what post-independence pleasure, joy, and all the things that they for granted was like. They have no clue. You see, that region, that part of the country, the communities there, never enjoyed independence to this day. And that's all he would ever apologize for. Simply as head of state, not as Mnangagwa, former minister of security during the time, etc. No, as head of state, looking into our new dispensation, healing our country. I want to say I am sorry to the people of Matabeleland, but I don't really want to be apologizing on this stage. We have now put together our National Healing and Peace Commission, and we will be addressing these issues at direct levels within our country, and to make sure that the communities are healed. That's all he needed to say, just to show the pragmatism of where he is going with this. But what I saw was evasiveness. He was actually trying to say, can we move on to another question? Like, he wanted to brush it off.
Right, okay. Thank you so much, Mkomatich, for that. Tete Rosie, very quickly there, could he have just said sorry and move on?
I mean, he could have showed that he was remorseful about what happened in Matabeleland, and I agree with Teach there that he could have done something to show that he was remorseful, and and then to show that later on they would do something about what has happened in Matabeleland in a genuine way, because the people of Matabeleland have a lot of anger, rightfully so. They were robbed of so much. And then today in Ndawana, I was watching the white ex-farmers are asking for 9 billion in reparations. Mnangagwa has been very open about wanting to pay the white farmers, for what, ZANU-PF did during the land reform. My question has always been, so it's okay. I mean, and I don't have a problem with white farmers. If you knew anything about me, my family is very much, I have like 2 brother-in-laws who are white. So that's not the issue for me. My issue is the people of Matabeleland keep being marginalized. Their pain and suffering is not as important as the pain and suffering of the white farmers. It should be, if we can acknowledge that something was done wrong in my white farmers, you should be able to easily acknowledge that something was done wrong and apologize to the people of Matabeleland. I mean, for me, the only reason why he refuses to apologize and apologizes only to the white farmers is because he's trying to attract investment. So that investment from the West is more important to him. It's not that he's remorseful. It's just that he's playing the part to get what he needs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you so much, Tete. Mkomajab is saying that the time for that apology for him has come and gone. He should have done it within weeks of him being in the office. Davos was the last place, especially with the question being pressed on him, and he chose to say the interviewer had a problem. Thank you so much, Mkomajab, for that. Seguru. Could he had just said sorry?
Is the new president of the Republic of Zimbabwe, which is transforming itself. Mm-hmm. I wish to extend my apology to the people and the people of the region in Matabeleland where this madness took away friends and relatives of people who had not committed an offense to anyone. Mm-hmm. Then I would then go ahead and explain the historical aspect of it.
Right. But it was an opportunity to say sorry.
It was a very, very good opportunity and a very, very respectable forum for him to do that.
And he failed dismally. Okay, Sekuru, thank you so much. Mkoma Wilbert.
I think what people must appreciate here is that Mnangagwa himself has been denying that he was not even involved. So it was always going to be very difficult for him now to make a U-turn on that issue and appear to be remorseful, and people believe him. And the other thing he was also talking about this Peace and Reconciliation Commission that he's talking about. Remember this, there was a Ministry of Peace and Reconciliation during the GNU. And this is just another way of ZANU-PF kicking the can down the road. And this is what is making this issue such an infuriating one, because people want to see somebody who is truly committed to it, not keeping on kicking the can down the road. You need to address the issue and deal with it really decisively in a way that you mean it. To appoint one of his vice president to handle it, this is just kicking the can down the road, because this was handled by the GNU and nothing ever came out of it. The ministers, I think that at one time there were even as many as 3 ministers in that ministry. And when you say at the end of the day what they come out with, clearly nothing. Because ZANU-PF, when they took over after the GNU, nothing ever happened. So this is, I think, what makes people, particularly those who have been dealing with the issue, even if they are not from Matabeleland themselves, who care about the issue and who have followed it closely, that this is what is making them so furious. Let's deal with this issue and deal with it in a way that people can say, yes, you are serious about dealing with it, rather than just this issue of trying to postpone it. And that is what makes the whole interview and his response to this so inappropriate, and why so many people have reacted to it and have rejected his reply.
Thank you so much. Very nice cup of tea that have been made for me here. But anyhow, but anyway, we've got 15 minutes to finish. I've got lots of stories that are coming through here. Mukoma Wubet, you're very keen for us to finish the show with, the the Utaunashe, approaching the courts and wanting to gag media from reporting his bitter divorce there in Zimbabwe. But someone is saying, DJ, what can you just ask the panel there to give us 2 seconds of their time, telling us what they think about what is happening in Harare CBD, the driving away of the vendors out of the CBD there. I'm sure we discussed this a couple of years ago here, and some people were sympathetic to them, that these people, that's the only work they can do to feed their family, because there's no work out there. At the end of the day, it is the government's problem to look for jobs for these people. But it looks like now they are kicking them out of the CBD now, these people. Have you got any sympathy with these people, Seguru?
Which people? The
vendors? The vendors, yes.
I have got total sympathy for them, but I also do not want to see their side on our streets. So my sympathy is that they should be provided with a trading area, specified zone, for them to display their wares and sell their wares. But this business of them selling in front of every shop and every street and even toilets, no man, it is not nice. What we should do is to address the problem. What causes these people to be on the street in so many numbers, man? Because there's no country without a vendor. Every country has got a vendor of sorts. But you never see them on the streets everywhere.
Sekuru, someone is writing to me saying that this issue should be addressed. Look at Chitungwiza. It's not perfect, but if you go Kwamakoni Chitungwiza, you see there's a designated area where the people of Chitungwiza will just go to Kwamakoni, kundotenga madomasi, kundotenga what not. They go there and everything is there, what they need, and they just buy it and go home, rather than every little corner a vendor is there. I don't know. Someone is saying that.
That's exactly the point I'm making. Surely you don't want to go into a street where you can't even walk on the pavement, because it's always tomatoes, mangoes, batoge, vuvu, whatever. It's everywhere. And you are afraid you are going to stamp on somebody's wares. No, that is not right. It doesn't, because of the numbers involved in a concentrated area which is called a city. That is not the best way to promote health for the people in that town. What is required is something like, what they've got at Mbare Msiga there. They upgrade that. They upgrade those stores. Not the junk that is there now where everything is everywhere. They demarcate them properly, put proper shelves, and then the people can warehouse there in a warehouse, and then bring them in the morning, sell them. When they knock off in the evening, take them to their warehouse offices, lock them up. But you can't have everywhere tomatoes, potatoes, vegetables, onion, a mixture of everything. This, what did you call this, ginger, whatever, and things like that. You can't have that, man.
All right, Sekuru. Thank you. So really, you think the driving away of these vendors, it's a good thing, really. You've got sympathy for them, but it's too much in there.
No, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying they should be allocated a place to
go
to.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not good for them to just be thrown away into the darkness, because they will always come back.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Sekuru. Mkoma teach any sympathy at all? I know we talked a little bit about this, but I just want a quick one now with what's happening now there with trucks of police hunting these people down.
The vendors have got 100% my sympathy. For the simple reason that it's not because they don't want to leave the CBD or that they want to contaminate it. It's a simple survival. This is existential. They have no choice about the matter. They are stuck in that situation because of the economic environment that the ruling party has created for the country. So at the end of the day, we are double victimizing the victims. So the government needs to address the issues that has made the vendors come onto the street, not to try to get rid of them, trying to survive without stealing. Because all they are trying to do right now is all these other young people who will have to resort to crime. And don't be surprised to see a spike in crime rates. Because right now, people are happy to find $1 or $2 to go and buy something for their children to eat or pay for their daily living expenses without having to resort to stealing. And at the end of the day, the government needs to address the causative factors than to start to address the symptoms, because they want to give a good impression that they've got a working town or city. It's not working. They need to make it work first, so that the people will move out. At the end of the day, right now, the people are there simply because it's not working. And you want to hide them. That's what they wanted to do. This is not about law and order. This is about hiding the vendors so that they can give a false impression to the tourists. That's what it is. So it's all scary, more fake, more unbold and cluelessness that is being displayed by all this.
Right, okay. Thank you so much, Mkoma Teach. Sally, what's your take on the vendors, please?
I've got sympathy, you know me and the vendors, okay? I've got total sympathy for them, all right? I do wish that they would just keep their areas clean, okay? That would help a hell of a lot too. They can do that themselves. I mean, look, they are there because the area that they were supposed to get, okay, that was supposed to have stalls and stuff put in, was never developed. So where do you want them to go? Okay, you want them to hang from the sky or something? I mean, but you see, it's ZANU-PF. I mean, you can't expect anything less from them. This is what they do. They bash down people's houses and then throw people away without any alternative housing for the people. I mean, it's all cockeye. It's all, I don't know how you're supposed to build anything good, okay, when your basis is on sand, when your foundation is on sand. I mean, do they think they're going there, they're beating up, they're shooting at, they're doing whatever to the vendors? It's going to stop them if they haven't got an area where they can go to that's got proper facilities and everything. No, they'll be back again. I mean,
right. So this is like killing a fly, trying to if you've got rotten meat in the house and you try and kill each fly that comes through, you won't finish them, would you?
Yeah, if you try and kill the fly with a toothpick, no, you won't. Okay, you've got to get rid of the rotten meat.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, my only word to the vendors is just clean up your area yourselves. Okay. Just be watchful of your area. Okay.
All right.
I mean, it takes nothing to do it. All right. And at the end of the day, then the people will say, yeah, but look at you. You're treating the vendors like this, but they clean up and they keep the area clean and tidy and everything. And it just adds one more stick to these people.
Okay.
I mean,
Sally, thank you so much. Teterozi vendors, any sympathy at all with them? I don't know when last when last you was in Zimbabwe yourself and to see for yourself how bad things are. But any sympathy at all for them?
I feel for the vendors 200%. Because you talk to some of those vendors ukataura tiri kuitika kuZimbabwe, because I talk to some of these people all on a regular basis, just normal people. Unzwa kuti vendors aya, sometimes they're going to work, they don't even make 10 cents chai, and vane vana vamwe vane vana vane chikoro vari kutadza kuenda kuchikoro. Right now vari kungoita basa rekunetsa nemapurisa vachidzinga, and then their kids are not even going to school. Some families are having to send maybe one child or two children, have to make a decision on who goes to school. They earn a living by vending. They are not vending by choice. The thing is, the government needs to use a scientific approach to this situation, acknowledging that we have an economic situation in our country. So they have to acknowledge that and figure out a way to solve this as a short-term problem. They could have taken Maris Zavaratengera my chief motkar. I always ask, if they had to really give my chief motkar, could they not have bought used cars and taken a little bit of even that money and built stalls for these vendors? Maris, this is if you look at the delegation that they took to Davos, it was saying the least you could pay for a hotel room in Davos is $600 a night. That's the least. Getting there, traveling to Davos was between 5,000 to 7,000. And then you had to take either a helicopter or some type of shuttle. A helicopter for VIPs, which I assume the president took, was about $9,500. And then you look at all the costs for all of that. You mean to tell me they couldn't have cut their delegation in half and taken some of that money to just even build stalls for the vendors? It's always the people who are less fortunate in Zimbabwe who are always shafted. And it's very unfortunate. And we need to start looking at those people and understand that they are people who have families, who have children. So I'm 100% in sympathy with the vendors.
Aiwa, thank you so much for that. Mkoma Wilbert.
To be quite honest, this situation is, even if we build another Msika in Harare and another one in wherever, we'll have to, even if we build 10 of them, we'll still have an overspill. When unemployment is 90%, it means if you're going to build stalls for all those people, you've got to accommodate that 90% who are unemployed. And even if you do that, some of those stalls that you have built for them that are away where the customers rarely ever go to will mean those vendors will be sitting there and they sell nothing. And what do? They'll come back to the city center where the people are. And this is the reality that we've got to solve it. We cannot solve it. It's like squeezing a balloon. You squeeze it one end, it bulges the other side. We are not solving this problem by chasing the vendors, harassing them. You need to create jobs. This is why Mnangagwa had gone to Davos, try to sell the country, to try to sell the country to the world, to get foreign investors to come and start companies and so forth. These young graduates, they would not be on the street if they had a job. And if you don't have employment opportunities, what else do you want them to do? So this reality is this: we are not solving the problem by chasing them, harassing them. That is not solving the problem. You will only chase them one area, they'll go to another. And then you have to go and chase them there, and they'll go to somewhere else. They have to leave, and they will keep on running and try to sell and try to earn a living. There's nothing, we are not solving anything here.
Okay.
We need to create opportunities. That is the solution.
Yes, it's clear for you that you have to create jobs.
Can I ask him, Mzukuru wangu will be a private question here? Wakajoina kula coast here?
No.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay.
I've never joined. I've never belonged to Lacoste or ZANU PF. I left it when I was a student, and that was it.
Okay, I was just worried because Mnangagwa went to Davos to go and create jobs.
All right.
Yeah, he created jobs.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Excuse me, guys. Please hold on.
Tried to sell the country, and I'm the one who say that he failed to sell the country because you don't tell people that Zimbabwe is ready for business when the country is being ruled by thugs.
Okay, Mkoma Wilbert, please hold.
That's all right.
Sekuru, please hold. Now, it's time to say goodbye, but people are calling in here. I don't know what is going on, but let's hear from them. Hello, Pazimlet Radio, ane number inopera na 8541.
Yeah, Jini Makabiko RSS. Quickly, Panenya Teach. I think you brought it up for Facebook. Mnangagwa was supposed to apologize. Denise Sandy, Massachusetts. The thing is, this is a Zimbabwean issue. It shall be solved in Zimbabwe. The people are not apology. I agree with Sally. This has nothing to do with international platforms. This is a Zimbabwean issue that shall be resolved in Zimbabwe to the Zimbabweans that were wrong. Apology.
Okay. Right. So, hang on. Tete, you're saying that he did well there. There was no point for him to say sorry to anybody there.
Yes, I did watch that movie. That interview. That's the best way to go about it because it's not an international problem. I'm not going to know. Even I'm going to tell you that Tony Blair. They approach them because they don't apologize for Iraq. They won't even address that. They won't even say sorry. That's international. This was a Zimbabwean issue that shall be solved by Zimbabwe. The apology shall be offered and is owed the people of Matabeleland and other places.
Okay.
Tony Blair and all takatovaitira mademo ndosakanaka zogumisira abva pachigaro kapinda Gordon Brown. Well, we still make those demos in England. It's allowed. Hakuna zvekutyisidzirana. The demonstrations for Iraq was attracting 1 million people in London. I'm not on news. So these things happen everywhere. The issue we are only saying is that there was an opportunity there of the question that will always be asked even by international media, as you also saw that BBC and CNN asked the same question. This is not about loving or hating Mnangagwa or wanting to be the arbiters of our peace. No. Mnangagwa was there as the head of state, had an opportunity to lay it bare that we are seized by the issue at home. It will be addressed to the right people. He could have worded it his own way. So I don't know how you feel agitated with it. It was not to apologize for
Mukomatich. Batai makadaro pane wari kuita noise apa handisi kuzoti ndewapi apa. Halo wari pa namba dzinopera na 008. Kwakanaka here noise akomana please ndapota hangu we are broadcasting here.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, as I was answering to my sister Andy made me go a long way. She knows exactly where I stand about these issues. So I think she's misunderstood, or for some reason has got other things that are going on with her. The issue is the apologies was to the people, but all he was to do was to express his regrets as the head of state, as the father of the nation, not as culpable or anything. He was asked a question. That question could have been asked by ZBC, could have been asked by any journalist. Any such opportune moment should be utilized by a head of state to put a clear perspective for the global audience that is watching us and that is trying to charm and seduce to come to the country. That we are at peace with each other and we have put this together. And yes, I do regret those incidences and I'm sorry about them, but we are addressing them in the right forums in our own country. He could have said that. That's all it is. And we're not blaming anybody or taking anyone's side. I think it was an idiotic thing to miss out on that.
All right. Thank you, Mkomatish. Right, I think you know is in Shomapo. Our Tetuar 008, our Masura Sego.
That's what I did. Sorry about that. I actually thought my phone was on mute, but I guess it wasn't.
Wow. Please, can you make sure next time, because it's very, very, very bad here. I cannot tell you how bad it is. But anyway, what would you like to contribute today?
Okay, I've been listening to the discussion. I really don't have much to say. I just really wanted to touch on the Nyaya Kukuraundi and to say, Kuti, the people of Matabeleland not only deserve an apology, an official, sincere apology, they also deserve reparations. Because you can imagine during that time how many able-bodied people were massacred. And Kukasara, like for example, the older people, Vakasara, they could not plow, they could not do anything. So I think they deserve reparations. Number two, my vendors, I sympathize with them wholeheartedly. I think my government officials on bank accounts. Vendors to build stalls or whatever they need to do, but not to chase them away. Anything else. So 15 billion yakadisappear ngavaone kuti vatotora some percentage of mari dzavakabaibva vaone kubatsira vanhu if they're really keen on developing a new Zimbabwe. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, DJ.
Thank you so much for coming very early to the show. Now,
next time I'll be early.
No, that's fine. Now, someone is saying here about the vendors, is saying that the vendors are a result of gross unemployment. You can't get rid of a problem by sweeping it under the carpet. The government must focus their energies on creating options, not hiding the consequences of their actions. That's Mkomoro Ndinyorea. This one is saying, sorry DJ, I couldn't make it to the show today because I'm working. But if you may kindly send podcast. Alright, okay. Podcast. Wapepe is writing to me, my sincere apology, Mkoma Sodza, I could not be on the show today. I've got a project that I am working on for work which is needed tomorrow. I will join in next week. Hopefully Wapepe you will do that. Zvisinei muri yeZimbabwe ndizvo zvinoita chirongwa chanhasi chinoperera pano. My thanks to everyone who have participated through our WhatsApp platform without naming
DJ
your name.
Sodza.
Yes?
DJ Sodza. I just wanted to before we go, I just wanted to let you know who the EU ambassador just commented just like 2 hours ago on the taking of voter registration slips.
Yes, what are they saying?
He just made a comment and he answered someone who asked what is the purpose, and he said the purpose of them taking them is to intimidate people. So the EU ambassador is actually commenting on what's going on.
Right, okay. So that's quite interesting. Thank you so much, Teteros, for that. Now, yes, may I thank you, Teteros, for coming in and getting the trophy of coming in first today as well, second week in a row. Thank you so much for that. Sally, thank you. Sally, thank you. There. I hope the police have gone now, Sally, they're not troubling you. Mkoma Teach, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us here. We cannot thank you enough. Mkoma Wilbert, thank you so much, my brother, for taking your time to be with us here. Sekuru, as usual, thank you so much, and I'm the first to congratulate you when your team do win. Sometimes luckily, sometimes and they did manage a little bit of luck yesterday, but hey, they are going to Wembley. We shall see how they do against the mighty Manchester City. Surely they've got no chance there, Seguru. Surely they've got no chance, Seguru. Even you will acknowledge that.
To carry me home.
We are the Gunners. We got them Just you wait and see. It's not very far. 2 weeks is not a long time. Like, just you wait and see.
Father Douglas Ziba ngati vumeranei ngati wiranei kuti venda ngari bati wose munhu iwe kanzuru venda munhu mani hati tisvike iwo pano kanzuru yeharare tisu mavenda tisu hapana chamagona sikaseka nemavenda ari kushandira mhuri motounza demo rashereka reka gondo nemavenda ari kushandira mhuri motounza demo. That is the Davos Entertainment. Now stop messing about. Engere Right,